Well, Sampiwe, good morning. You're quite correct. President Cyril Ramaphosa is leading what is being referred to as the Vooma Vaccination Weekend. The Vooma Vaccination Weekend is part of government's drive to mobilise South Africans to get vaccinated. So part of those that will form part of this mobilisation drive would include your faith-based organisations, organised labour, as well as business. So essentially what will happen is that there will be pop-ups which will be open all day on Friday and Saturday in all corners of the country. So the President's mobilization will begin here in Katlehong, as you indicated. South Africa having administered over 17 million vaccine doses, over 8.6 million people fully vaccinated, which is about more than 1/5 of the country's adult population. This according to President Cyril Ramaphosa as he addressed the nation last night. He also indicated that 60% of South Africans over the age of 16 and 50% of people between the ages of 50 and 59 have now received at least one vaccine dose. I guess this more now so important, this vaccination drive, that needing to be ramped up as South Africa at midnight moved to alert level 1. And of course, you know that the curfew from midnight to 4 a.m. Restaurants are now being able to close at 11 p.m. Maximum people indoors increasing to 750, as well as outdoors 2,000. So while South Africa begins to reopen the economy, it's going to be quite important for as many people to get vaccinated as possible. So hence government is now ramping up this drive with the Vooma Vaccination Weekend, hoping to get many more people vaccinated as the economy is starting to open up. More people are being allowed to gather now. And of course, in terms of the figures that we've seen, funeral attendance, for example, also going up to 100. But of course, the President last night expressing concern that things like after tears and your night vigils are things that are also still prohibited because those are believed, according to science, that is where those particular gatherings, of course, would cause a bit of trouble. So this ramp up starting this weekend, we're expecting President Cyril Ramaphosa to arrive here at about 10 o'clock this morning. A line has already formed here towards my left, where some of the people are lining up to get vaccinated as well. So it's already kick-started, and what's expected was that the President was meant also to move from here to another part of Katlehong. I'm not sure if that's going to take place at this particular point, Sampiwe, due to the inclement weather at this particular point, but we'll certainly hear once they arrive here. But what we do know is that the program will start here, and the Vooma Vaccination Weekend kicks off in just about an hour.
Well, Chriselda, I mean, it suffices to mention that if we see the country's leaders, for instance, President Cyril Ramaphosa will be leading the Vooma vaccination program in Katlehong, while on the other hand, Deputy President David Mabuza will be leading that particular program in the Northwest. I suppose that when we see leaders taking the vaccination program to the people, it will, well, to some extent, dissipate any vaccine hesitancy that we've seen in the past, in the past few weeks. That has been a problematic problem for the health authorities, isn't it?
Well, Sampiwe, that's going to be quite a tough task because you'd recall that this is not the first time that you've had, the President go out and urge people to vaccinate. And in fact, the vaccine hesitancy that has been there continues. Obviously, there are certain sections of the population that don't believe in getting vaccinated, but government's stance has been quite consistent in that they've gone out to drive the same message that the more people vaccinate, the more South Africa is going to be able to reopen the economy, the more things will somewhat go back to a sense of normalcy. But you must also remember there's been huge criticism of government during this particular time, because you must also recall it is election season in South Africa, and you've seen quite a number of political parties going out to campaign. They've been on the campaign trail, and even before President Cyril Ramaphosa had announced last night that South Africa was moving to adjusted level 1 of the lockdown, you'd already seen large numbers of people gathering. So in that message last night, President Ramaphosa calling on political parties, in particular the leaders of political parties, to ask their followers to desist from gathering in large numbers. But the President himself, in his capacity as the ANC President, has also come under large criticism in that he has been at places where there have been large gatherings as well. So certainly at this particular point, I think while government is going to ramp up and preach the message on calling for people or to mobilize people to vaccinate, vaccination, of course, is not that silver bullet. It does not mean that you will not contract the coronavirus. It simply means that you won't get extremely ill. So that message is something that still needs to be very clear, in that while South Africa has decreased the level of lockdown, it doesn't mean that the country itself is out of the woods. So I guess while these political leaders, or while the president and his deputy are in different places calling on South Africans and mobilizing them to get vaccinated, the critical message that is also going to be needed there is that South Africa is not out of the woods. We are still very much in the midst of COVID-19, and South Africans still need to behave.
All right, Chriselda, thank you so much. We'll go back to you as soon as the proceedings start. Chriselda there is in Katlehong, wherein President Cyril Ramaphosa will be leading the Vooma Vaccination Weekend, while on the other hand, David Mabuza, the Deputy President, is in the Northwest, also leading the Vooma Vaccination Program. We'll touch base with our reporters there. Let's now go back